anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I'm going to do a collective tarot, or a tarot collective, however you want to say that, for today. Today is Sunday, August 17th, 2025. You may follow me on the Talk the Tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, God's kiss. We love that for you. Whatever does not, just leave it on the table for someone else. We don't want you taking on energy that wasn't meant for you. I swear to God, I just thought I heard the cats acting like idiots. We're going to use Intuitive City Oracle, Rob Barthelman. You can find this on intuitiveintention.com, My Intuitive Intention on Etsy, and he also sells his decks in the TikTok shop. We got one on the table. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I did. 2 on the table. 3 on the table. I went to work and then I decided to go for a walk. So I went to the forest preserve to go for a walk. Same one I went to yesterday with my friend. The funny thing is that today they had a bunch of events in the park, like family picnics, things like that. So you could hear people talking. What is it? A bullhorn? What do they talk over? Really loud, kind of obnoxious. You could hear it through the whole freaking park. But I did my little walk. I came home. I fed the kitties. I exercised. I took a shower. I just got done eating dinner. I just got done actually combing Bubbles because he had knots all over his one side. I don't understand him. I had to do that for him like 2 or 3 months ago. And I thought it was all his winter knots. Like he just couldn't get them out. And he was fine. He's been fine. And now all of a sudden, more knots. I think he's getting lazy in his old age. Like he doesn't want to clean himself. He doesn't want to do anything. We got 5 on the table, 1 card in reverse, and 1 major. We got 6 on the table, 1 in reverse, 1 major. Let's do 2 more shuffles. Whoa. Seven on the table, 2 cards in reverse, and 1 major. Eight cards on the table, 3 cards in reverse, and 1 major. 2 of those reverse cards are actually not that bad. They're more positive than negative. Okay, last shuffle. Last shuffle. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. We got 10 on the table. We got 3 cards in reverse. We've got 3 majors, and one of those majors is a reverse. Okay. Bottom of the deck, the Emperor, Queen of Swords, 7 of Swords, 7 of Wands, sorry. 10 of Cups, Strength, Last Judgment, Holy Shnikes, Page of Swords, the Sun. Top of the deck, 8 of Cups, 10 of Swords, King of Swords. Seven of Swords, the Temperance, King of Wands, the Star. Someone wasn't being honest with themselves. Someone thought that they were just fine sitting in this devil energy. And now they're realizing they're realizing whether you live a toxic lifestyle or a healing one, you're always going to have burdens. You're always going to have you're always going to have good moments. You're always going to have bad moments. But they're realizing that they were really not being honest with themselves when they decided to stay toxic. Like, they didn't want to heal. They didn't want to move on from a certain type of lifestyle, but now they're realizing that they would probably have more peace, mentally and emotionally, if they would just start healing. Okay. Bugs Bunny, folks. We got 5 of Pentacles. Whoever that person was that realized it's probably actually easier to heal than stay in a toxic lifestyle. Before, when people would spout off religious or spiritual or healing BS, as they called it, it was jibber jabber to them, it was Bugs Bunny, folks. You know how biddy biddy biddy, isn't that Bugs Bunny, or was that, what's his name, the guy, was that the guy, the one with the gun? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here, but what the hell, Elmer Fudd, was it Elmer Fudd? Whatever. It was BS to him, or her. I don't know. All right, let's try this again. 5 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, 6 of Swords. We've got Knight of Wands in reverse, We've got the Empress. We've got the Queen of Cups. Nine of Swords in reverse. It's actually a little more positive, technically. We've got Five of Wands in reverse. Again, a little more positive. We've got the Chariot in reverse. Comme ci, comme ça. And the Wheel of Fortune, bottom of the deck. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. This Empress can be an emperor. If you see my hand and it's bleeding, that's because of Homer. He tried to jump on the table the second time in like a month. He jumps on the table, lands on like one of my body parts, and scratches the hell out of me because he freaks out. I'm trying to let it dry so I can wash it. I washed it and I put some sanitizer on there. I don't really freak out about cuts and bloods and stuff. I think it's part of being a surgeon's granddaughter. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. Never really has, honestly. Might be for other reasons than the granddaughter thing. All right. Again, feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. It doesn't matter. I'm going to read it like it is because it's just easier for me. So, Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands in reverse. It doesn't matter. Whoever this person is, someone had like a very touch and go type of interest in an Empress energy. Or someone that they considered to be an Empress, someone that they considered like higher of stature. Like they had some type of, like they were interested and then they weren't. The thing is whoever this person is, they're going through some type of like a period of lack, like a cycle of lack. Like, let me just put it this way. Whoever this person is that had this somewhat interest in an Empress figure, when they stopped talking or having anything to do with this Empress figure, or when this Empress figure stopped having anything to do with them, whatever the case may be, this person's life kind of took a turn for the worse. And I don't necessarily mean like, oh my God, it got so freaking bad. It's just this person realized that whoever this Empress energy was, like they had a really positive effect on their life. Like they were very like easygoing, loving, caring, giving, nurturing, right? That type of energy, like very outgoing, very friendly. And this person is realizing like their life really is not the same without this person in it. Like, why is my life not the same without this person? Like, is it really this person? Like, did they really bring that much to my life? Or am I just like imagining it? And it's kind of funny because the Six of Swords here, it's like, so I'm kind of getting like things here. This Six of Swords, like they're watching this Empress energy. So I don't know if these are like friends, ex-friends, family members, ex-family, like they don't talk anymore, co-workers, neighbors, right? Ex-lovers, maybe they're watching each other on social media. But it's like they're watching this Empress energy and they're realizing like how stable they are, reliable, good-natured, like just very like I said, a very nurturing energy, caring energy, giving energy, right? And I heard the word sunny. like the sun. Like if the sun card was out here, like this person would be, I don't want to say everything because that's kind of, maybe this person looks at this person as everything, even though they don't want to admit it, maybe. And the funny thing is whoever walked away from who, or maybe they both just kind of walked away from whatever this connection was. Like they had, like interest in the Empress and then not, and then interest. You know what I mean? Like very, like one day I'm going to pay attention to them. One next day, like I'm going to talk to somebody else. And then, like I can just go back whenever I want kind of energy, and maybe they realize like, oh, I can't, because what I'm getting with the Knight of Wands in reverse and the Empress together, because it's almost like it's got two point of views in this reading. This Empress energy, whether they just kind of walked away from each other or one walked away from the other, it doesn't even really matter. They're looking at this Empress and they're realizing, like, did they not have a hard time after I walked away or after we walked away from each other? Like, is this Empress like already healed, already moving on? Like how is that possible? It's like somebody watching the Empress and being like, how are you so happy? How are you so with it? How are you so together? How are you moving on so fast? And I'm over here like a fucking wreck. Sorry, I might have been blocking the microphone. And the thing is, with the Queen of Cups, the Nine of Swords in reverse, the Five of Wands in reverse, like to me, this is both their energy. Whoever this person is, whether it's the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Wands, you can just call them a knight, I guess. At least they're not a page. Ding. I don't know. I mean, page is a young energy, but I don't really pay attention to that anyway. So, like, to me, this is both their energy. The Empress, the reason why it might seem like she was able to walk away, right? The Empress was able to walk away and not have an issue, not be as impacted as this knight. And it's not that they weren't impacted, it's not that they didn't feel anything, right? It's just that they're a healing energy that knows how to transmute that energy. This is what Rob Barthelman put on his tarot cards. The Queen of Cups, emotional wisdom. Nine of Swords in reverse, self-compassion. And Five of Wands in Five of Wands in reverse, resolution. Whoever this Empress is, like they already had these steps in the back of their mind. Like, this is how I'm going to work through whatever this loss was. Whether they walked away from each other, whether the knight walked away from them, or they walked away from the knight, it doesn't matter. This Empress energy already had it figured out. Like, this is how I'm going to move on for myself. This is how I'm going to heal myself. These are the steps I'm going to take. Maybe how long it's going to take, if they have like an idea in their head, It's not to say that that is technically accurate, but and the Empress energy, I'm just going to say this too. When I look at the Empress energy, I also think of I don't know how to say this, like a very mature energy, okay? Not I don't know why the words old lady popped into my head. Maybe that's just because like I always use that phrase in regards to me. Um even though I don't feel like an old lady, I refer to myself as an old lady. I kind of always wanted to be someone's old lady, right? Biker mama. Sons of Anarchy. Katie Seagal. I always wanted to be, I always wanted to, yeah. Anyway, anywho, the Empress energy to me is always given off like a mature energy. So somebody that has already been through like this type of relationship, this type of occurrence, this type of event, right? Like an Empress energy gives off somebody, they've had to heal from heartbreak more than once. You know, they've been in love more than once. They had to get over someone more than once. You know, they've had shitty things happen to them throughout their life. They had to get over it. They had to heal from it. Like it's a mature energy. It's somebody that has healed themselves enough times in this lifetime, in their lifetime. And I'm not going to say it's a piece of cake to do it. I'm just saying, like, they know what they have to do. And they're going to do what they have to do for themselves, right? Like, whatever that means. Like, if it means they have to hermit, if that means that they have to distance themselves from this person this night, if it means that they have to distance themselves from everybody, you know, friends, family, all that stuff, they're going to do it. Like, they're going to do it. They already know how to get where they need to get. Now, I think this is the Knight's energy as well. It's just a little more lagging because this is someone that is not as experienced as the Empress. Okay. This is someone that, you know, a little bit below them on the totem pole, you know, just a little bit, just a little. But it's someone like this Knight work with the Queen of Cups, realizing like, okay, what do I want from this situation? What do I want from this Empress? Like, do do I want a relationship with them long term? Again, romantic, friendship, it doesn't matter. But do I actually want to be in their energy long term? Or am I okay not having anything to do with them? Am I okay, you know, being an enemy or, you know, just being a person on the sidelines watching, right? It's someone like thinking through their feelings and, you know, like where do I see myself? Do I see myself with this Empress? Do I see myself being friends with this Empress? With the Nine of Swords in reverse, this Knight is holding space for themselves and is allowing themselves grace, if that makes sense, mercy. Like, take the time you need to figure it out. Because you don't want to, whoever this Knight is, they don't want to go towards this Empress with some bullshit. You know, they don't want to go towards the Empress and be like, yeah, I want to be friends. You know, I'm sorry things happened the way that it did. I want to be friends. And then like a week later, they're like, yeah, fuck that Empress. You know, like I don't want to be friends with that bitch. You know, they don't want to do that. They want to figure out what they want going forward long term for themselves. Like, do they see this Empress in their life? And again, if it's love, you know, like, do I see myself long term with this Empress? Like, am I going to marry this person? Like, do we fit? Do we complement each other? Are we soulmates? You know, like that kind of thing. Like, this person is really holding space for themselves, this Knight, trying to figure out like what they want for themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. The Knight has every right to take as much time as they need to heal, to think through their life and all that jazz, just as much as the Empress does. Just because you would look at the Empress as a little bit higher on that hierarchy, right? And the Knights, you know, like maybe here and the Empress is here and you got like kings and queens in between. There's nothing wrong with that knight taking the time that they need to figure out what the fuck they want to do with their life and who they want in it. And again, holding love and compassion for themselves, because at the end of the day, they might decide, like, I don't want this Empress in my life. Like for whatever reason, I don't connect with them. I'm not feeling it. And that's fine. That's fine. Everybody has the right to feel and think what they want to feel. Does that mean that this knight is going to feel that for the rest of their lives? No. I mean, later on down the road, they could be like, well, shit, I made a mistake. Or later down on the road, they could be, like, that was the greatest decision I ever made. I mean, all you can do is what you can do for yourself in the moment. You're not going to know how it's going to affect the rest of your life, right? Unless you're psychic, intuitive. You're not going to know how it's going to affect the rest of your life until you get down that road. A year, 5, 10 years down the road. You know? Five of Wands in reverse. This knight coming to some type of conclusion, realizing, like, I want to do this. I want to be involved with this person. I don't want to be involved with this person. Like, what am I going to do here? This is what I want to do. So the Chariot in reverse, Rob Barthelman put impulsive acts, right? Chariot in upright is determination, which implies, like, I'm determined to get where I'm going. I'm determined to go there. With the Chariot in reverse, it's kind of like just all of a sudden jumping up off the ground and being like, okay, I'm going. Okay, but where are you going? Is this knight going to go towards this Empress and say something? Again, this reading could be romantic, it could be friendship, it could be family members, it could be co-workers, neighbors, it doesn't matter. Ex-lovers, not. To me, the energy that I get, the energy that I pick up is the knight is going to go towards the Empress to say something. Because when I look at this, again, when I look at this Six of Swords, like, this Empress has this energy. And this Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands in reverse, if you want to throw that in there. This Knight recognizes, at the end of the day, they recognize this. Like I said, they realize that their life is not as good as it could be if they didn't have this, if they had this Empress in their life. In whatever form or fashion that means. I think for some it's going to be different, right? For some this is just a friendship. For some this is like a lover situation. But to me, with the Chariot in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune, like, whoever this knight is, like, they're going to think about this, right? With the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Swords in reverse, the Five of Wands in reverse, they're thinking about it. They're mulling it over. They're taking their time. They're figuring it out. But with the Chariot in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune, like, they're going to wake up one morning and they're going to be like, fuck it. I'm going towards that Empress. I'm going to say what I have to say. And that's it. And whatever the case, it's going to change. The cycle's going to change. One cycle's going to end and a new one's going to begin. And I think for every situation, it's going to be different. two people coming together as lovers, two people coming together as friends, or the opposite. Like I said, this Knight of Swords goes towards this Empress and says, it's been swell, and I enjoyed knowing you, but I'm going in the other direction. I'm going towards something new, someone else new, whatever the case. And again, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the road, I mean, only this Knight of Swords is going to know whether that was the best thing that they ever did or if it was a mistake. And like I said, the Empress energy, whoever that is, like they're already wise enough. They know how to heal themselves from a situation. They'll move on. And probably, quote unquote, quicker than the Knight energy, honestly. Something about clocks. I don't know if somebody has like a collection of clocks, or I also saw like a grandfather clock. If you know what that is, a grandfather clock. My grandparents used to have one in their foyer in Lake Forest, right across from their fountain. Yeah, I just said that. Actually, I used to love that fountain. I used to play in the fountain in the hallway by the front door, and then I would stand there and stare at the grandfather clock. I love that clock. Something about paintings, like somebody likes to paint, or maybe they like to collect like paintings or artwork or something like that. And it's kind of funny because I've been thinking it since like the beginning of the read, like it's been in the back of my head. Whoever this knight is and whoever this empress is, again, whether they're lovers or friends, whatever, even though again, like the empress would be a little bit higher in stature than the knight, they have a lot in common. Like for some reason, like there's a lot in common there. It's almost like it's almost kind of like soulmate energy. Again, a soulmate doesn't have to be like a love interest. A soulmate could be, your best friend, your cousin, your dog. Like a soulmate can be, it's just giving that kind of energy. Like, hmm. Okay, so again, they might be some kind of, yeah, they might be some kind of soulmates or something, because I'm looking at the cards in reverse, right? I mean, they're in reverse. Everything's upside down, but I'm looking at them and I'm like something's not right. Like when it's upside down for them, it's not right. Like the two of them not being friends, not being family members in touch, not being lovers. Like there's something not right about that. Like they might both feel very out of place without each other in each other's lives. Again, the Empress is a little bit more knowledgeable and a little bit more seasoned, so they're going to heal a little bit faster than the Knight. So the Knight is going to feel upside down and a little out of sorts, but they don't necessarily know how to heal themselves as fast. They're not as polished, they're not as wise. So they're kind of like a little bit lagging, you know? And I'm going to say this too, because I said that I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier with the Empress energy. Like when they go to heal, like they know, like, okay, maybe I got a hermit, I got to stay away from people, I want to, seclude myself from others, right? Whereas this Knight of Swords, I'm looking at the Five of Wands in the upright. It's a bunch of gentlemen hanging out, right? Doesn't matter, gentlemen, feminines, it doesn't matter. But it's like someone, when you look at it in reverse and it's upside down, it's like someone's like, well, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't be getting like my friends' opinions. Maybe my opinion is the only opinion that matters. So like the Empress energy would know, like, I don't really need anybody else. Like they might ask for other opinions, but at the end of the day, they're going to rely on what they know intuitively, psychically, right? They're going to go with their gut. Whereas the Knight, who's not as established, they might ask their friends' opinions and then they get confused. And then at the end of the day, this Knight of Swords is realizing, well, shit, like I really just need to think about what I want, who I want, you know? Like fuck everybody else's opinion. The thing is the Empress already knew that. She might have asked opinions just to kind of like, see what other people thought. But at the end of the day, they rely on their gut. Whereas this Knight of Swords, like they realize that a little bit later. Like I should just have went with my instinct, whether that be to talk to the Empress or not. Like I should have just went with my gut. I shouldn't have listened to these idiots. People, right? Friends, family, whatever. In my opinion, in my opinion, whatever the relationship is between this Knight and this Empress, it's going to be mended. Whether they become lovers, whether they're just friends, co-workers, neighbors, whatever, family members, it's going to be mended. At the end of the day, at some point, it's going to be mended. With the Chariot in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune. Because like I said, this Knight is just going to all of a sudden get off their ass and go towards the Empress and be like, hey, can we chat? Like we need to talk about this. Like it's been too long. Like I waited too long. All right, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it there. 40 minutes in, and I just said the same thing over and over and over again. I'm gonna leave it there. Take how it resonates. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if anything you were entertained. I'll talk to you later. Bye.